It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on Newspaper Review and High Impact Television. Happy New Month. I hope your August is coming on really well. And right about now, we have our guest joining us from Lagos State, rather from Benin. His name is Guamadu Malakai. Thank you for joining us. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you. I'm actually in Delta State now.
Oh, Delta State. All right. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right, let's begin with the Punch newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, I saw a story how that the People's Democratic Party and APC took a swipe at Professor Jega for saying that Nigerians should ditch both parties, that they've not performed well so far. Professor Jega actually had an interview with BBC yesterday calling for Nigerians to ditch APC and PDP. How would you react to that statement coming from Professor Jega, as well as the response from APC and PDP?
Well, for me, Professor Atahiru Jega spoke like a Nigerian, not like a chairman or former chairman of INEC. And in that respect, I would say that the Constitution under Section 39 vests that right in him to be able to freely express himself, to hold an opinion, and to pass that opinion to the public. That much he did. And I think that the way the two political parties that have been identified to take it is to, look inward, be introspective about it. To say, what is it that we are doing that this head of the election monitoring body has taken this fundamental, profound position on us? It is that Jega now, expresses view and resentment and reservation of the multitude of Nigerians in a way that ought to activate some thinking, within this political party. And I think the point was clear that given our experiences with PDP in 16 years, now with APC for 6 solid years, Nigerians truly needs an alternative. And I think that point is very, very profound and important. Nigerian people need an alternative to the political elites that are congregating in the political class in this political party. I think it's perfectly right.
Mr. Guamadu, should this conversation even be about political parties instead of leadership? Should we even be talking about political parties at this time instead of focusing on main leadership?
Well, the leadership is driving the political parties, and the political parties ought to be engine room where these policies and ideas are conceived, they are nurtured, they are synthesized and delivered to the people. And so it's also of particular importance that we pay attention to the type of political parties that we have without necessarily distancing the place of the leadership. I understand the point that leadership is important, but the parties are also equally important.
All right, let's move away from that story to another story making rounds on the front page of the Punch newspapers as well as other newspapers in Nigeria, and that is the strike by the National Association of Resident Doctors. This morning, we got a report from NCDC how that COVID-19 cases have increased between yesterday and today, and also the federal government is planning tougher measures, if not lockdown. So let's link these two together. The National Association of Resident Doctors for quite some time have been calling on the federal government to pay their hazard allowances as well as other allowances they have requested, but there has been no calls or no response from the end of the federal government. How would you react to what is going on? Because the strike is on already. Most hospitals are shut down, are closed.
This is regrettable. This is unfortunate. This is unacceptable. It has become one strike too many. And what is rather intriguing in this particular instance is that as the hospitals in Nigeria are shut down, as the doors of access to Medicare are shut down against the teeming, suffering, sick Nigerians, our dear president is having the best of treatment, the best of medical attention, the best of medical facility abroad. This is an irony that stares us in our face, that reminds us of the failure of leadership and that emphasizes the need for us to rekindle our consciousness in this country and to say no to this kind of disparity. Let me give you an example. As a lawyer, as a lawyer too, under Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution, the law says no Nigerian, whether healthy or sick, young or old, shall be discriminated on account of his sex, religion, creed, social status. So why are we dying, suffering in Nigeria, why our leadership gets the best of treatment? Mandela did not leave South Africa one day until he died. Well, Castro of Cuba did not live one day. So the National Association of Resident Doctors.
Well, Mr. Ugwamadu, let me interrupt you briefly. Now, this brings me, this reminds me of the supplementary budget that was approved as of Friday, that was passed into law as of between Thursday and Friday. And I saw that in that bill, health sector got the least of what they are supposed to get. And you just talked about the president having the best treatment. Now, if health sector is getting the least out of that budget, where do we go from here? How do we even begin to have conversations of these health issues?
Asila, thank you. It paints the poverty of the situation. It describes the enormity of the crisis that we find ourselves in. And it explains the prioritization, the priority, the premium that the government pays to the issue of health. Now, the worst of it all, that budget allocation, if you align it with the requests that the resident doctors have made in the past and the promises that have been made, you will effectively, easily understand why we're in this very comatose system. It is not only in the medical sector. ASU is already warming up.
I was going to even talk about ASU.
I can provide that for you because I, as the former national president of CDHR, have been attending ASU next members and I understand what issues are.
Yeah, let's finish the health issue. Let's finish health and then we'll get to ASU. Continue, please.
So the point is that a sick people delivers a sick nation. There is very little that the people can do in terms of maximizing their potentials if they don't have good health. Now, the statistics have shown that an average Nigerian dies as a result of very insignificant ailment. It is precisely for that reason that your president, albeit political actors, all run abroad on medical tourism, even with respect to the list of ailments, headache, earache, gastric problems, issues that can be effectively met. I think that the world should help Nigeria now.
All right.
The world should be able.
Well, let's hope that this conversation between the federal government and National Association of Resident Doctors would come to an end pretty soon, because I am looking forward to it. But still talking about strike, let's get to the education sector. The conversation between ASU and the federal government is no news, as they have been at loggerheads over the IPPIS. They are planning to embark on another strike. You were about to say something about ASU and the strike. Please go ahead.
Well, the point I make about ASU is that just like health, which is in short, from health to education, you are already peeping into the philosophy of a nation. Without dealing with infrastructure, without dealing with finances and the economy. And I'm saying that the perennial crisis between ASU and the Nigerian successive Nigerian government has become intractable. Why is it intractable? It is that governments after governments pay very lip service to education. And that is why it is possible, acceptable, regrettable that schools can be shut down for more than a year. children can be allowed, or school pupils, students can be allowed to roam the streets of Nigeria and constitute themselves into vices, social vices, for over a year in this country. So I think the point
Mr. Gwamadu, the conversation actually is surrounded around the transparency of how this payment should be made. ASU actually gave federal governments, yesterday I saw in the news how ASU actually gave federal governments the payments plan they would prefer, but the federal government already gave them a plan, which is the IPPIS. So that is where the controversy is between transparency and the payments plan. So do you think that the federal government is ready to at least listen to ASU, or probably bend to what ASU is proposing?
If they are ready, you won't hear the skirmishes. You won't see the skirmishes. You won't feel smoldering smoke that will soon, burn the fire. But I think that in the interest of our country, in the interest of our children, in the interest of the future of this country, we need to pay attention to what the practitioners, what the professionals are saying. And I'm talking of the academic staff union of university. How did Lee Kuan Yew transform Singapore? It is through education. Singapore was in a more horrible situation than Nigeria. But they had to lock down, and he had to introduce an educational system, a curriculum that aligns with the state of the nation, and built it within a decade, and Singapore is now a first world country that we all run to for help, for academic attention. I was taught by Pakistan in my secondary school, St. Charles College, Abavu. We used to have the Ghanaians here. I'm sure, looking at you, you may have had that privilege. But where are they today? My father, Chief Augustine Ugumado, retired as a school principal. Before he stepped down, over 25 years ago, he was already regretting that this was no longer the enviable academic institution and regimes that Nigeria offered and held out.
Well,
so you can assess a nation by its health and by its educational standards. The ball is in the court.
All right, I must thank you for your thoughts and contributions to the show this morning. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.